Have you ever wondered why every time you try to lose weight, it just won't stick? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 3 important mindset shifts you need to make in order to finally achieve a successful weight loss transformation. This is next level stuff because I can give you the best weight loss information on the planet, and that's what my entire channel is all about. But if you don't change your perspective on 3 important aspects of your journey, any results that you'll get is only going to be temporary. And if that's where you're at right now, then pay attention. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. Okay, let's start with a big one. Let's start with your general overview of this process. This might be the most overlooked aspect of weight loss, but it plays such a key role when it comes to your success. You need to focus on improving your health first and foremost. This should be your #1 goal. You want to be as fit and as healthy as you can be, because the default setting of the human body is that it's healthy. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having abs and getting ripped as your goal. But that should be more of a byproduct, and it usually is when we focus on our health first. Because when we start fixating on purely aesthetic goals, that's when we usually fall for crash diets, gimmicks, and other shortcuts out there. Like if you start eating less than 1,000 calories every day, for example, and you start eating a lot of highly processed food, like any low-fat and low-calorie versions of foods, and you combine that with doing crazy workouts, you work out for 7 days a week, you'll most likely get results at the beginning when you do this. But whatever result you end up getting are not going to be sustainable, because once your body adapts to the semi-starved, super stressful state, the weight loss will come screeching down to a halt, and all you've done is severely lower your metabolism. But instead, if you focus on improving your overall health and fitness, and you can wrap your head around the idea that this is gonna take some time, you do everything you can in your power to give your body what it needs to be healthy and fit however long it takes, the weight loss and body recomposition will come as a byproduct. It almost becomes inevitable. This mindset shift was a big turning point for me personally. That was the official start of my health and wellness journey. It was when I was able to wrap my head around the idea that I'm doing this because I love my body, not because I hate it. For the longest time, I wasn't happy with how my body looked. In fact, I hated it. So it was almost like I was punishing myself. I remember eating less than 1,000 calories every day. And I did get results, but man, I was miserable. I was hungry all the time. I was tired. I had no energy. And I was also extremely susceptible to just going off the rails on a weekend because I just felt so deprived. Again, it wasn't until I shifted my mindset and came from a place of love until I finally realized, hey, you only have one body and you have to live in it. You might as well take care of it and play the long game. And the most important part is the process, which means that you have to stick with it. Next, let's talk about the way you see food. You want to look at food as something you use to fuel your body. Think about it. Whatever you put in your body becomes the raw materials in which your body builds itself. Your cells regenerate itself all the time. And what do you think your cells are going to use in that process? Food. So it's kind of important that we give our body the best raw materials to build itself from in order for us to be healthy. Think of yourself as a supercar, like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Would you give it cheap, dirty gas? Or are you going to give it the highest quality fuel you can afford? If you give it cheap and crappy gas, it may or may not run at the beginning. And even if it runs, it won't run efficiently. And eventually, the engine will start to break down. It's the exact same thing with the human body. Again, your default setting is healthy. Things really just start to go sideways when we start putting garbage in our bodies. And the problem here really starts when you look at food in terms of just purely calories. We've been taught for the longest time to look at the nutritional sticker of the food and immediately ask, how many calories does this have? And 2 problems arise right away in that instance. The fact that whatever food you're looking at has a nutritional label sticker means that it's been processed in some way, shape, or form. And the more processing your food goes through, the worse it is for you. Remember, there was no processed foods back in the day. The second problem is your body doesn't count calories. You have no calorie counter in your stomach. Your body does, however, have a physiological response to whatever food you put in your body. That's why some foods are more fattening than others. Not all calories are created equal. 100 calories of low-calorie ice cream, for example, has a completely different physiological effect compared to 100 calories of eggs. The former is an ultra-processed version of ice cream that's mostly made out of refined carbs and sugar, while the latter, eggs, is as unprocessed as it gets. There's only one ingredient in eggs: eggs. Which one do you think is gonna make your body healthier? This is why I have such a big problem with plant-based meat substitutes and why I bring it up in a lot of my videos. And we don't need to discuss the merit, whether vegans have the moral high ground here. But just from purely a health standpoint, Beyond Meat has 18 ingredients. A piece of steak has 1 ingredient, beef. Which one do you think is healthier? Same thing with cheese. Real cheese has 1 ingredient, milk. And I have no idea how they even make vegan cheese. I just know that that can't be healthy for you. Just remember this, there are no bad foods, only processed ones. Whenever you eat something, I want you to ask yourself whether whatever you're putting in your mouth is moving you towards health or sickness. The choice becomes easy right away. Now, what about the occasional treat? That's perfectly fine. Life happens. Don't look at it as if it's the enemy. It's not. If you're in it for the long haul, and you should be, one bad meal out of thousands won't magically make you fat overnight, just like one good meal won't make you a model of health. The danger when it comes to cheat meals doesn't lie within the actual cheat meal itself. Like I said, it's just one meal. It's not a big deal. The danger really lies when you think you've just ruined everything. Again, this goes back to just making sure that you have a good relationship with yourself. These days, I've established a great baseline when it comes to my diet that whenever the occasional cheat meal happens, and I usually plan for it, I don't feel bad. I don't feel guilty. In fact, I'm usually looking forward to getting back to my regular diet routine the next day. And having that in my back pocket allows me to enjoy whatever treat I'm having. So, how do you get started with this? Well, first, let me tell you how to not get started, because this is just as important. You do not ever want to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour here. Let's use intermittent fasting, for example, which I talk a lot about on my channel. When people find out about it, they usually tend to pick the most advanced way of doing it, which is doing OMAD or 1 meal a day because they want results right away. So they start with that while their diet is still complete trash. If you think of a video game, that's like starting a new game. You're in level 1 and you want to fight the final boss right away. How do you think that's gonna go? You don't have all the necessary tools and experience to have success with it. So people fail miserably doing it, and then they'll say, oh, it didn't work for me. Yeah, no kidding. Listen, you're not a light switch. You can't just flick a switch magically. You're more like a radio knob, so you need to dial things down a little bit first. Just go at it one level at a time. Again, this is what I did before. I cut a bunch of calories and I lost weight right away. But I was hungry and miserable and I was tired all the time. And once I stopped cutting calories, I put all the weight back on right away. These days, it's a little different. I eat a lot more food, I have a great baseline when it comes to my diet, and I'm able to maintain a physique that I'm happy with. That's a great happy medium if you ask me. The name of the game here really is baby steps. There are levels. The higher you get, the better. But just like a video game, you have to complete whatever level you're at first successfully before you move on to the next level. So here's how you do it. For the first week of your weight loss journey, and this also works if you're stuck, I want you to just track everything. You can use MyFitnessPal, for example, or you can go old school here, just grab a pen and a piece of paper and write everything down. And I mean everything, especially if you're someone who grazes and nibbles on food all day. No need to change anything yet. I mean, you can, obviously. But if we're really focusing on taking things slow, just see where you're at here. See what you're dealing with. Whatever list you come up with then becomes ground zero. That is your baseline and your goal moving forward. And that's the biggest takeaway from this video, is to improve on that baseline every day. That is it. It's honestly as simple as that, because 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. This is everything. Like if you drink 3 cans of Coke every day and you go down to 2, that is a big win. And then maybe after a week, you cut it down to 1. That's awesome. And then when you finally just switch to soda water or just plain water, your health will drastically improve. If you switch your snacks from Doritos to maybe a handful of nuts, your body will respond to that kindly because you're eating real food instead of fake food. The key when you're just starting out is you don't want to delete everything right away. That's too big of a change. Your body will think that something is missing and it's gonna crave for it. The key then is to replace it with healthier options first. Then you want to work up to a point where you can just delete snacks completely. Then bring your number of meals to just 3 and focus on eating single ingredient, mostly in processed, nutrient-dense foods, which I break down in further detail in this video. So make sure you check it out. And then, only then, should you even think about intermittent fasting. This is why I talk a lot about achieving metabolic flexibility first, where your body is easily able to tap into your fat stores in between meals and burn it for energy. You'll almost never feel hungry when you're metabolically flexible. And it's also important to go through a proper 21-day reset where you just go through establishing a proper baseline and improving on it in a methodical way. And I'm gonna link to one of my programs at the top right-hand corner here if you just want a proven plan on how to do this properly. But once you establish metabolic flexibility, that is the only time that you should even think about doing intermittent fasting. And in a perfect world, you're only eating 2 meals in a 6-hour eating window. Now, a lot of people make the common mistake thinking that diet and exercise are 50-50 in this process. Unfortunately, it's not. Exercise has many benefits, but weight loss isn't one of them. So let's talk about how you view exercise. It's extremely important to look at exercise as a way of just moving your body more instead of counting however many calories you burn during your workout. Because again, your body doesn't count calories. And I've said this many times in my other videos. The calories burned during your workout does not translate to fat burned in your body. But that's the common thinking for a lot of people. And again, this just goes back to counting calories. People look at the amount of calories in a donut, for example, let's say 300 calories. They think that they can just accumulate 300 calories burned on the elliptical and voila, they're break even and they just burn it off. That is not how it works. You want to look at exercise as a way to increase your fitness level, therefore becoming a more functional and awesome human being in the process. And I've said this many times as well. If the benefits of exercise could be put in a pill, it would be the greatest blockbuster medication of all time. It's that amazing. Like when it comes to improving your overall health and fitness, there is literally nothing better you can do than to be as physically strong as humanly possible. And you do that through exercise. Some of those benefits include increased insulin sensitivity, which is extremely important when it comes to improving your health. You also get reduced stress from exercise. You get improved brain health, reduced risk for chronic disease, enhanced detoxification. So you don't ever need to drink those detox teas which tastes like butt. It also improves your sexual function. It also slows down the aging process by improving your mitochondrial efficiency. Just to name a few. Again, it just helps you become a more awesome and functional human being. Like who doesn't want that? And I say that because exercise and building lean muscle mass is so important in the aging process. That's why to me, this is non-negotiable if you want to improve your health. And I want you to think of exercise like brushing your teeth. You should do some form of it every day. And I'm not saying here that you should go to the gym every day. No, that is such a huge misconception for a lot of people. Like I don't even go to the gym every day and I'm a gym rat. What I'm trying to say here is that there are many different types of exercise like walking, cycling, running, hiking, lifting heavy weights, and other cool stuff like play. Your goal is to try as many of those modalities every week as possible. Like if you just set a goal of getting 10,000 steps every day, and I talk about why that's extremely important in this video, and getting in 2 to 3 days of intense resistance training so you can build muscle efficiently and do some form of play, even just playing with your dog or your neighbor's dog counts here. You're set. Your health will improve, you're gonna be a more functional human being, your quality of life will improve drastically, and you're gonna look good shirtless as a bonus. But again, baby steps. If you've been living a sedentary lifestyle, 10,000 steps might be a lot at first. Your goal is to just get outside of your house and get some sun on your skin. It's good for you. Because most North Americans are vitamin D deficient. And then just go for a 10-minute walk. Anybody can do that. Then after a couple of days, once you get a little more accustomed to it, do it twice a day. Then graduate to 3 times a day. It's the same thing with resistance training. Don't expect to be able to squat your body weight right away when your only form of exercise is carrying groceries. Just start with body weight exercises and work your way from there. And I'm gonna link to my Lean Body Blueprint 21-day weight loss challenge if you want a proven plan on how to do this. The cool thing about all of this is you have something called a success mechanism that is built in you. It comes with your default setting. You also have a failure mechanism, by the way. That's why you see some people get on the negative habits bandwagon and they can't seem to get out of it. They can't get out of their own way. So if you make the mental shift when it comes to your overview of the process and know that it's gonna be a process, and you also change your perspective when it comes to food and exercise, you can't help but feel good and just have a more realistic and practical approach to this. That is then going to activate your success mechanism, and guess what? Success breeds more success. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Virtual high five.